Hello and welcome to the Photography Instructor Show, the podcast for all things photography and filmmaking. I'm your host, Saurav, a passionate content creator and a photography educator dedicated to helping you master the art and craft of visual storytelling. Whether you're a beginner, eager to learn the basics, a seasoned pro looking to refine your skills, or somewhere in between, this podcast is for you. Each episode, I dive deep into techniques, tips, and the latest trends in the industry. From lighting and composition to editing and equipment, I have got you covered. Plus, you'll hear inspiring stories and insights from industry experts and fellow creatives who share their journey and expertise. So, grab your camera, get comfortable, and let's explore the fascinating world of photography and filmmaking together. This is the Photography Instructor Show, where learning meets creativity. In today's episode, we are diving into yet another term which you have probably heard and thrown around quite often: high dynamic range, or HDR. Whether you're a photographer, a filmmaker, or someone who just loves tech, understanding HDR is essential in today's visual world. So, let's break it down. What is dynamic range? Before we talk about HDR, we need to understand what dynamic range actually means. Dynamic range is the difference between the brightest and the darkest parts of an image that a camera can capture. It is basically measured in stops. More stops is equal to more detail in shadows and highlights. Our eyes have an incredible dynamic range. We can see details in the sky and shadows under a tree simultaneously. But a camera? Well, it struggles, especially in tough lighting situations. What is high dynamic range? High dynamic range is a technique, or more broadly now a feature, that aims to capture a broader range of light and dark in an image or video. In photography, HDR often means blending multiple exposures, one for highlights, one for midtones, and one for shadows, to create a balanced final image. In video and displays, HDR refers to enhanced contrast, deeper blacks, and brighter whites, offering a more realistic and immersive viewing experience. Now, what are the different types of HDR in practice? Well, HDR photography, merging multiple shots using bracketing, common in landscape or real estate photography. HDR video, capturing and displaying a wider brightness range using standards like HDR10, Dolby Vision, or HLG. Well, here's a fun fact. Some smartphone cameras now do real-time HDR with a single click. Well, since now we know what is HDR, what are the types of HDR, let's understand when to use HDR and when not to, which is pretty important, right? HDR can be magical, but it's not always ideal. So, where do we use HDR? In landscape photography with bright skies and dark foregrounds. In interiors with windows where both inside and outside should be visible. In sunset or sunrise shots to retain color and detail. Now, these were the situations where we can actually use HDR. But let's also go through where not to use HDR, especially with moving subjects, which can cause ghosting. In high contrast portraits where skin tones might look unnatural. If your goal is more artistic or low-key, moody image. Remember, HDR is a tool, not a fix-all. My final HDR tips and thoughts. So here are some quick HDR tips for photographers and filmmakers both. Use a tripod for HDR photography to keep frames aligned. Don't overprocess. Natural looking HDR is usually better. If editing HDR photos manually, focus on highlights and shadow recovery. Last, learn your gear. Many cameras now have built-in HDR modes. Try them. HDR is all about balance. The goal is to represent the scene as your eyes see it, not to make everything hyper bright or oversaturated. Learn it, practice it. But always remember, it's the story behind the image that matters most. All the best. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Photography Instructor Show. I hope you found it informative and inspiring. Remember, the journey of mastering photography and filmmaking is a continuous one, filled with endless possibilities and creativity. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback will help me grow and reach more inspiring photographers and filmmakers just like you. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn for more tips, learning, and updates on the upcoming episodes. Until next time, keep capturing those amazing moments and crafting your unique stories. This is Saurav, signing off from the Photography Instructor Show. Keep creating, keep learning, and keep inspiring.